Edo State House of Assembly on Monday 14th October 2024 don confirm nomination of 5 members of Edo State Civil Service Commission, and the House also consider 2 bills. Dis na follow up after dem adopt report by the House Committee on Rules, Business and Government. Una go remember say on October 2nd, 2024, Governor Godwin Obaseki send letter to the House dey request say make dem confirm 5 nominees for the Civil Service Commission.
Mr. Speaker, the members of the said committee next are considered the credentials of the nominees for the position, and subsequently came out with a report, which report is present and subject to the competence of Mr. Speaker, is ready for presentation to the House.
As Chairman and Ambassador, and Edo State Civil Service Commission, the report has just presented. I want to ask if the report can go to the committee of the govt consideration. Just with that.
I would think, following the position of Mr. Speaker, that Mr. Speaker at this stage should leave his exalted position as Mr. Speaker and assume his equally exalted position as Chairman of the Committee for the consideration of the report that leaving the upper lecture and taking or assuming the position of the lower lecture.
According to our Tory person Omo Ikayere, wey report say the report by the House Committee on Rules, Business and Government wey get full profile of the nominees con dey adopted as the chairman and members of the Edo Civil Service Commission con present themselves to the House of Assembly, where Ighodalo Aluyi go serve as the chairman, while Ehi Obaseki, Gilbert Adegboyega, Julie Olatunji and Margaret Ohonwere be members.
Which members are from the committee to go, where the reports of the House Committee on Rules and Business and Government House on the screening of 5 nominees as chairman and members of the State Civil Service Commission. And the committee came out as 7 point findings and 1 recommendation. I think the committees, the members, their names are here, their brief biography. I think it's also important for us to also know them. Sarah, please confirm if these nominees are within the presence of these chambers.
Mr. Speaker, 5 members of the Edo State Civil Service are within the presence of their chambers. They are kind of important. They act as a means.
Two members just said that the 5 nominees are within the chambers. You can agree that you say, those against say, please, especially. Good morning, nominees of the Civil Service Commission. You are here before your chambers standing for the 8th Assembly this morning. We have seen a brief of your resume, just brief. I think it will not also be out of place for you to also introduce yourself to the members of this assembly so that we can hear brief about you. Thank you very much.
Good morning, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, citizens of the House of Chambers. My name is Edo Assembly. I'm nominated as the chairman of the Civil Service Commission industries here in Nigeria, but in the last 18 years across 3 continents, the UK, the United States, and the last 14 years in the public service in Ontario, Canada. I returned to the country last year to do some HR reforms for our Edo Civil Service, and that's the work I'm doing together. Thanks.
Thank you, Leslie.
Good morning, Honorable Speaker and members of the House of Assembly. My name is Edo Assembly. I have over 20 years experience in human resource management, having led almost over 6,000 people across 6 states in Nigeria. I am consulted in Nigeria and Ghana. I have multinational, national, and multi-local experience.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker, and members. I'm Saito Gabriels. As civil servants, I have 21 years experience as a director. I retired from Civil Service Commission to present. Thank you very much.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker, and distinguished members of the House of Assembly. My name is Olatunji, a retired permanent secretary. My last appointment was as a permanent secretary of the House of Protocol. I'm a seasoned administrator, having gathered 35 years of experience as a civil servant. Thank you.
Good morning, Honorable Speaker and honorable members of the Edo State House of Assembly. My name is Margaret Edo Assembly. I'm a retired civil servant. I work with the Ministry of Justice, and I retired as assistant director. I now run my own law firm. I'm the principal of M.E. & Co. at Nominee City, and I'm from Igwebe local government in Babet. My marriage is from this
Thank you. It's not about the gender, it's about the body capacity, the capacity, what they can contribute to move Edo State forward. That is what as group members all have for them. If you are aware that it should be declared by the House, we say ayes. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Consequently, the nominees are declared by the states assembly. Clean copies of be sent to the governor of the state for his action. Thank you.
For the plenary, the House can also consider a bill for a law to establish the Edo State Digital Governance and Data Management Agency, where the majority leader Charity Agbabaweya talk say the bill go boost transparency for governance, improve access to information, and make things more efficient. The Deputy Speaker of the House, Honorable Maria Edeko, and other members can support the bill.
Mr. Speaker, this is another bill that is setting Edo ahead of its best as far as the legislative business is concerned. Mr. Speaker, will permit me to go a little in history and to say that in this world there have been 4 epochs. The epoch, that is 4 epochs of civilization. The first one is the epoch of agriculture. When civilizations like the Egyptian and the Mesopotamian civilization came up through domain assembly by the peruvial part of the river Nile, civilization grew because of their ability to grow food, and in the face of surplus that was in harvest, they developed cities. Subsequent, Mr. Speaker, was the epoch of the iron, when they discovered the technology to shaping iron, and they developed great empires, like the Greek Empire, like the Roman Empire. Those were the times of war. Mr. Speaker, now moved ahead, and we came to the era of industrialization, and great empires like Great Britain, like Portugal in earlier time, the first that visited the East. And America, China, and Russia of later day grew out of that civilization. Today, Mr. Speaker, the world has assumed another epoch, the epoch of information technology. The only thing that is running this world today is sophistication in information technology. You don't need to do too much. They just look at the first 10 richest men in the world, and you know that the world is seated. That is the 4th reign of civilization. And that means that information technology is what we embrace or we perish. And in embracing information technology, Edo State government had, time before now, gone paperless. Today, sir, Edo State has more than 2,000 kilometers of fiber under the earth across the 18 local governments in the state to embrace the internet technology. And this will all done without a legal framework. What we are called upon to do today is to distinguished colleagues, and which I urge that we all support, because that is the 4th epoch of civilization. And I know we are all happy, we are all ready, and we are all there towards facing today's world. Is to give the legal framework for the domestication, for the warehousing, for the dispensation, and for the progress in data. Data as image, data storage, and dispensation. That is what this law is talking about. And that is why I want to urge my members, and very distinguished members, to support the speedy passage of this bill, so that which we already have, that is a digital state, will now be put in proper legal perspective.
Member representing Eastern Northeast Constituency 2, and by the special grace of God, the Deputy Speaker, arise this morning to support the motion for a bill for a law to establish the Edo State Digital Governance and Data Management Agency, and for matters connected therewith. Mr. Speaker, like the erudite majority leader has stated, the world has gone digital. Today, we are lucky to have a governor who is several years ahead of his counterpart. A man committed to the good of Edo State. And to that effect, Edo State governance has been made digital. Today, what we are trying to do is to have a legal stamp on that. And why is this agency necessary? Why is a legal framework necessary? We are not a static people. Today, what we have in Edo State is beautiful. And this last week, His Excellency was given an award, for making our civil and public service a digital one. If we do not have a legal framework in place to ensure that we continuously carry out researches, bringing new innovation, train the staff, assist government agencies, what we are celebrating now will become non-bearable. So a legal framework at this time is timeless. And this is the only way we can sustain the growth in our system.
Mr. Speaker, the concept of digital governance has given us the opportunity to catch up with the trend of growth in the world all over today. Mr. Speaker, you cannot talk about e-governance, which is of course the major concept in governance today, without this very concept of digital. Because in the course of e-governance, you need digital accumulation and expression to be able to explain this very all-important concept. Mr. Speaker, the world over, I have said severally in this Hano chamber that modern states today, modern nations today, are gradually moving from the era of industrialization to the era of servicization, which portends era of service rendering. Because of the damage this industrialization has caused to our ecosystem, modern states like United States of America and so many other states are moving away from this industrialization and entering into service. Their major preoccupation now is service rendering. And Mr. Speaker, this era of servicization cannot be properly harnessed without digital governance. Of course, I said earlier that this has given us the opportunity to catch up with the trend of things, the trend and development of things in the country all over. Mr. Speaker, this agency will not operate in vacuum. Definitely, they will require human capital. By so doing, it will also help us create job opportunity for those who are going to be members of the agency. Also, Mr. Speaker, I have also said times without number that even this present time, the world is already moving away from digital to the era of high definition, because we are gradually entering the stage of high definition. I think this opportunity is apt and prompt for us so that we can catch up with the trend of things.
Mr. Speaker, I'm not very vast when it comes to computer matters, especially analyzing them. But because of the global trend that everybody is now highly technological, so we have to fall within the line that
the DMA, Data Management Agency, is global. The Data Management Agency is an organization that has to do specialization in the area of managing, specializing, analyzing data to help business and organizations within our area of operation. Therefore, we must do everything possible to assist, to encourage, not necessarily because of those of us who are almost out of, who are already one way or the other analog, but for those that are coming up, our children. We have to encourage them, we have to inform them that the country, the world, globally is accepting the new technological know-how on how to operate and the importance of data processing. Most importantly, for security and financial management. I have to stand up and quite so that the motion, or rather the bill before this honorable house, be led by the majority leader of the State Assembly is highly appreciated. With all that I have within my constituency and above, I support the motion every move or be submitted before this house. So thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Edo Richard, member representing Olatunji West. I'm advising to speak for the support of a bill for digital governance. Mr. Speaker, sir, this bill would help in enhancing transparency in governance. Easy access to information by citizens will mean there will be transparency in how the government is run. It also helps to improve efficiency. Automated processes will reduce bureaucracy. When things are automated, it increases efficiency, it improves the workforce, and therefore directly impacts positively on the economy. It also helps with accountability. Digital governance will help even the citizens to track the activities of the government. If we're able to track the activities of the government, it means the government on their own will ensure that things are done properly because they don't want any issues. It will also help in improving our economy. E-commerce will improve, and it will also help to support Nigerian digital economy. Citizens' engagement will also improve. When we're talking about transparency in government, most understand that transparency means the government collaborating with the citizens and the citizens are satisfied with governance. Criticism is allowed. Every information is made plain on a digital art space and platform. It bridges geographical differences. Therefore means somebody in America can access and understand Nigerian digital economy by just going to that website. So finally, Mr. Speaker, even in health, mortality rates, that's to say infant mortality, maternal mortality, incidence of various diseases. I can tell you now, Mr. Speaker, that statistics of the number of persons affected by cholera in Edo State or even Nigeria, we can't say exactly. But with digital economy, with digital or e-governance, these records will be taken effectively. And that will help us to assess the number of women we have lost during childbirth, the number of children we have lost, and that will help to also jack up services, that's health service providers, to ensure that such mistakes are not repeated. Mr. Speaker, however, to be able to harness this digital governance, to maximize it, Mr. Speaker, we must also consider certain things. One of those things, and most importantly, is uninterrupted power supply. Uninterrupted power supply. And that's why I'm happy today that power autonomy has also been granted. That's why I'm happy today that we have places like Oshomo that generate electricity for Edo State. All these put together will ensure that e-governance is sustainable in our state. Two, anybody, a good hacker can hack into our data of the state, and that can create a lot of problems. So data protection is another area that must be looked into in order to maximize this digital governance in our state. Again, Mr. Speaker, to harvest the potential, the full potential of digital governance, we must remember that government officials must go through capacity building to know how to handle these gadgets, to know how to handle data processing, so that we can maximize the benefit of this digital governance.
Digital governance and data management is for market here with that we instead of an agreement that this bill should signal historically, we say, those against saying, let this 3 copies of this bill should be sent to the governor of those states. Governor Godwin, ourselves as a key for his assets.
Another bill for a law to repeal the Edo State Electricity Law 2022 and establish the Edo State Electricity Regulation Commission come also past second reading for the House.
This Nigeria, 3 that has been issued license to generate, to regulate, to market, and to pursue the transmission of electricity in Nigeria. And to that extent, I also want to draw the very prophetic submission of the member representing Oregon West. Digital governance is not even possible unless there is assurance of state electricity. So, it is not a function of chance that following speedily and quickly the passage of the law digitalizing governance in the state is another one seeking to establish and perpetuate the 24-hour power supply in Edo State. Mr. Speaker, before now we had the Edo State Electricity Law 2022. This President one, pursuant to progress, pursuant to development, seeks to repeal that law and establish a new one that will usher the state of Eldorado, a new one that will usher steady electricity supply, a new one that will ensure proper generation of electricity localized. I will take Mr. Speaker back to something that happened in time past. indulging certain members. Edo State, in its position of primus inter pares, had invested first in this country in private power generation, what we call the very wonderful one, very big. Assuming that is given to us today, we will be talking about electricity. The one in Europe, the one they call Azola, but it came before its time, sir. That power project came before its time because on generating that huge power source, Edo State was mandated to put it on the national grid, and it got lost in the web of mismanagement. But today, we are saved. Today, the policy on power generation has been decentralized. The country Nigeria has said, Edo, if you want to develop, go on, we will wait. And Edo is ready to take the chance at development. And for that to happen, Mr. Speaker, there must be a legal framework that is going to determine every stage of this development. This stage that will give us power uninterrupted, like Oshomo is doing in some little area in the Edo State. We want it to be a function of the whole state. And for that to happen, this bill is germane, sacrosanct.
I want to support this bill because we were the proponents of this bill in the 7th Assembly. As you know, I cannot be completing and converting at the same time. Mr. Speaker, the repeal of this bill became very necessary because of the alteration in the 1999 Constitution, which of course is the 5th schedule of the 5th alteration of the 1999 Constitution. Mr. Speaker, before now, according to the National Electricity Regulatory Commission Act, no state or no individual is allowed to generate and distribute electricity that is more than 50 megawatts. But with this alteration, the benefit to distribute whatever is more than 50 megawatts was now allowed to both individual and state and local government. Hence, the need to repeal this bill. Mr. Speaker, I also want to correct a little impression that Edo State too was the first state in Nigeria to create or develop a generating plant. No, that's not true. Other states have done that as far back as 2008, Rivers State. As far back as 2008, they created or they produced an electricity generating plant up to the tune of 450 megawatts. But because it was more than the required wattage that you can distribute, they were asked to connect to the national grid. I know also, like the Oshomo plant, has the capacity to generate more than 50 megawatts. It was tend to be 50 megawatts because the state needed to distribute what it was producing. And because of the scalability that was possible with Oshomo, hence this bill is coming at this time so that they can increase the number or the quantity of generation and distribution it can carry.
Make una not forget say, as we see am, na so we dey talk am. We not dey take blame. From Edo State House of Assembly, Ekata Ojisali, TMC TV News.